Hi there, a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining the live chat session. Two main topics for today's live chat. Let me welcome the participants first. Samuel Faleke, one of my regular viewers, one of my friends, in touch with me on several platforms. How are you, Samuel? First one who commented today, Samuel. I wonder why you're not a member, Samuel Faleke. Manbero Mogus is trying to provoke me, calling me Fano Sajid. He's from Bedoa, Somalia. Tekim joined after a few days of gap. How are you, Tekim? You see, I'm starting to remember, starting to memorize rather your names, when you join, when you leave, if you have been joining or not. That is the benefit of live chats that I feel connected with you. Mesfin K here to Amora Era says, welcome Sajid. I have been addicted to your reports. Thank you, Amora. You people keep me going. Lilu joined too. Lilu says, hi Sajid, my views and news is my choice always. Thank you, Lilu. Amora says, I want to be a member. I don't know the information. Are you in Ethiopia? You cannot be a member if you're in Ethiopia. Process is very simple. There is a link given in description section. Just click the link. It will take you to membership page. Three tiers, I think. You can choose any one of these three payment tiers. Hussein Hibo joined too. Abraha Hele says hi. Wonderful. Ayale says hello, Sajid. How are you? Wonderful. Abdi Muhammad says hi. Enghe Som Photo says US has never had any bad policies against Eritrea, but the regime in Eritrea is making it up. Avid Tedros says good evening. Amor is in Sweden. Well, you can easily be a member. Just click the link given in description section, which is about how to become a member. Abraha Hele is watching me from Ethiopia. Bashe says, how are you? I'm fine. Bashe, how are you? Payo Jizya, how did it shift? Payo Jizya, it's a new and a unique name for me. Payo Jizya. What does it mean? Where are you from, Bayo? Ephraim Tisfai says, Salam. Stay blessed, Ephraim. How are you? Two main topics in today's live. It seems that viewers that US is adopting a policy shift towards Eritrea. We could see several important developments in Eritrea US relations in coming days. One new development has happened. It will take effect from next week. It shows a warming of relations between Eritrea and the US. It seems. No food aid. No, John Span. It's not about food aid. Secondly, Jawar broke his silence today. Jawar has been very quiet after his release in 20, more than a year ago. He was released from prison, but the man curtailed his political activities after his release, and he remains abroad mostly. And he spoke today about the report regarding Bateessa's murder and Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia's claims about pressure on the commission, and the commission has been forced to halt its investigation into Bateessa's murder. What did Jawar say? A detailed video today, viewers, about Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia's letter written to Oromia government, Oromia police. Please do watch it. I was stunned when I saw that blatantly, shamelessly, government forces, elements in the Oromia government, federal government are trying to cover up Bath or gas has murdered, it seems. Chief of Hamasyan joined too from Eritrea, with Eritrean. Dark star here as well. Let's start, viewers. Could you help me a little? I think last year, a US shocked the affairs uh, was transferred from the US. I think he completed his tenure, then he left. What was his name? Steve or Stevenson? I don't remember. The man appeared on some Eritrean opposition news outlets too. I forgot his name. Oh, Samuel, that's good. If you avoid use of debit credit cards, I understand that. I do the same too. AZ King joined too. Welcome, AZ King. AZ King is the member as well. Special welcome to you, AZ King. The Fox says Sajid Jawar is not famous anymore. Petros, yes, Steve Walker. Thank you, Petros Tivelde, for reminding me. Steve Walker. Fahmi Musa joined to drum says hi. When Steve Walker uh, departed Eritrea, he shared his assessment. And if you remember, when he was in Eritrea, he was very critical of Eritrean government. Eritrean government tolerated him, but Eritrean government did not try to silence him. Obviously, he had diplomatic immunity as well. But after the completion of his tenure of his assignment, he spoke. He gave his assessment of how US should run its foreign policy about Eritrea. And the man proposed engagement. He said isolation, attempted isolation of Eritrea is not a solution. The best strategy for the US should be that it should try to engage Eritrea. It should not just isolate Eritrea and cut off links with Eritrea. And he also proposed that regionally conflicts should be solved by the US, because conflicts help Eritrea in interventions, and through interventions in conflicts, Eritrea expands its regional reach. That assessment of Steve Walker, I think, was heard by US policymakers. And we are seeing a gradual shift in US policy towards Eritrea. It's not that US is going to be on good term with Eritrea like it has good term with Kenya too. But I think we're going to see some warming of relations between the two countries. US uh, embassy in Asmara has not been conducting visa interviews for the last 7 years. If anyone applied for a visa, study visa, employment visa, medical visa, non-immigrant visa to US from Eritrea, he had to go to Addis Ababa or Nairobi, Kenya for interviews. US embassy in Asmara was not conducting interviews. It was not issuing direct visas to Eritreans. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I got this information from Eritreans who are in touch with me, but correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I learned. So that denial of visas or restrictions on interviews and visas for Eritreans was a policy. adopted by US government to put pressure upon Eritrea to be disengaged with Eritrea. And we know that US imposed sanctions on PFDJ top leaders, on military leaders, and visas are denied. PFDJ leaders, senior military leaders are not issued visas, US visas by US Embassy in Asmara. Now, what change? From next week, from the 14th of May, US Embassy in Asmara will start issuing visas, non-immigrant visas to Eritreans, study visa, medical, etc. This is one point indicating that US is going for policy shift towards Eritrea. It is trying to engage Eritrean people. What I have learned is that some actions are also in the pipeline. And if a few days ago, we heard from some Eritrean activists, they claimed that US government had invited Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president. That invitation could not be confirmed, but even that invitation or that news showed that such a proposal was being considered in the US in government circles. So definitely US policy towards Eritrea has softened in the last few months, I believe. What is the reason? Why? Uh, Reason very simple. Isaias Afwerki's Eritrea is much more stable than any other major player in the Horn of Africa. Sudan destabilized, Ethiopia trying to regain stability, uh, Somalia fragmented, Djibouti relatively insignificant, relatively. Eritrea stable, no internal problems, no challenges, no armed groups here. How are you, Tahir? I'm fine. No ethnic conflicts, no religious issues, much more stable. Since it's stable internally, it means its external influence is more than that of those countries which are internally unstable. And keeping in view Russian Chinese relations with Eritrea, US wouldn't like Eritrea to go closer to Russia and China. Though already Eritrea is close to both the countries. Eritrea is a champion of the establishment of a new world order. Afwerki, wherever gets the opportunity, talks about the creation of a new world order. It does not waste any opportunity to criticize the Western countries, US as well. US, I think, knows the regional reach of Isaias Afwerki, especially when it comes to conflicts. Eritrea training Somalia's forces. So Eritrea is a key player in Somalia now. A few days ago, UN Special Envoy on Sudan visited Eritrea. He met with Isaias Afwerki, showing Isaias Afwerki's influence in Sudan. In Ethiopia, we know that Eritrean military played a key role in supporting the military, Ethiopian military against Tigray fighters. You see that everywhere in the Horn of Africa, Eritrea has its footprints. And other countries in the Horn of Africa either destabilized or facing economic problems. Look at South Sudan. South Sudan, serious economic challenges there. Kenya stable, but and Kenya is at US camp. US wants to enhance its reach, its influence in the Horn of Africa. Eritrean position cannot be denied. That is why we're going to see a policy of engagement. Policy of isolation is now going to be replaced by policy of engagement. You'll see more such measures in coming days, uh, showing warming of Eritrea US relations. I think there'll be more closer engagements between Eritrea and West as well, Eritrea and EU too. Because mostly EU, US adopt same policies about African countries, about mostly about Eritrea too. I think both were on page when they tried to isolate Eritrea. They backed TPLF. They tried to impose sanctions. They tried to strangle Eritrean economy. Now, if US is adopting a policy shift, EU will follow as well. Dani Usman says, are you saying Isaias is more difficult than Saddam Hussein, Iraq? Yeah, no comparison. Saddam made a fatal mistake. He invaded Kuwait, and Arab world turned against Saddam. US had immense support in Arab world. So I think we cannot draw parallels here. US, it would be difficult for US to get similar support in the Horn of Africa if it decides to invade Eritrea. I think Sasawaki is a harder nut to crack than Saddam. Lilo says, Sajid, Ethiopia is trying to have nuclear. Don't you think big risk of other developed countries? No, no, getting nuclear bomb, building a bomb is a long process. It takes years of hard work. Pakistan made the bomb. We know that how it was made, how Pakistani scientists, Pakistani military establishment, Pakistani intelligence agents managed to achieve that. Just like GERD is an achievement for Ethiopia, building a nuclear bomb was an achievement for Pakistan. How did that happen? It started in 1970s. It took decades. And then opposition from the world. Uh, See, Iran was close to building a crude sort of nuclear bomb, but after that, uh, sanctions and threats, Iranian economy suffered a lot. And now no one knows how capable Iran is in terms of building the bomb. Ethiopia cannot build a bomb. It cannot make a bomb in a year, 2, 3, 4, 10 years. No. Entire world will turn against Ethiopia, especially Western world. No one will allow Ethiopia to build the bomb. So, mm, cooperation in the field of nuclear energy does not mean that a country can make nuclear bomb in a few months or even in a few years. Angus Photo says, how are they going to handle the human rights issue? Oh, come on, human rights issue is not a serious issue for bilateral relations. Uh, Americans have good ties with Arab countries where no elections are held, where there are monarchies, where there is no freedom of expression, but they're their allies. China is also America's trade partner. And we have seen so many reports about uh, atrocities against Uyghur Muslims in China. Nothing happens. So when it comes to bilateral relations, your interests matter, not universal moral principles. Alam Gizao, did you help Khan get the bomb when you were working there? Well, Khan, Abdul Qadir Khan, was just one man. Making a bomb took years of hard work with the participation of thousands of people. Khan just learned technology, the most modern technology back then, about how to enrich uranium to a level where it can be used to make a bomb. But Khan alone was not in a position to make the bomb. Khan then got support from military, from politicians, and then the parts needed for that bomb, experiments. It was a long process. I'm fine, Yemaskan. How are you? Now, our second news story then will end the live chat session. Jawar Mohammed spoke today after we heard about the Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia uh, today revealed that it had halted investigation into Bateessa's murder because its investigators in Makki town were being harassed, they were being chased, they were being threatened, they were being intimidated. But the commission has conducted some preliminary inquiry. It could release the report. Jawar spoke. He said that the commission should make its inquiry public. And he said this is what was being suspected by some. When Bateessa was murdered, the same day Jawar released a statement, a message. He said that there are no hopes of impartial, fair investigation. And Jawar was right. Yes, OLF, OLA, all are now accusing the government. Uh, Someone is asking about imposition of Sharia law in Pakistan. Let's stick to the topic. PO Boy Tucker joined too. He is a member too. Welcome, PO Boy Tucker. Special welcome to you. So Jawar said back then that there cannot be any impartial investigation. Maybe he had Hachalo's murder in mind, that Hachalo was murdered and truth never came out. Jawar was right that now Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia, relatively independent institution, has halted its investigation because it's not being allowed to work. Thank you, Horn Affairs. It's not being allowed to investigate freely. Kira joined to welcome Kira. But I agree with Jawar that Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia should release its preliminary report because it conducted interviews there. It met with witnesses there. So what happened? How many were there? How many were interviewed? What did they say? And I think Commission will release a report, which could be a charge sheet against the government. What will happen after that? Will that lead to accountability? No. I mean, if Commission says that 4, 5, or 10 members of Oromia regional forces or federal forces were involved in the death, in the killing of Bateessa, they'll be arrested. Who are the real planners who planned Bathur gas? That will never come out. Though maybe government will scapegoat those security officials, but those officials will be protected. They won't be hanged. They'll be protected. That is how it happens. If things deteriorate, they could be killed as well. How will commission reach the hand behind Bathur Gas's murder? That can only be done if the killers are arrested, they are investigated impartially, and then the killers tell who told them to assassinate Bathur Gasa. That will never happen. Now, Jawar knew last month that nothing will come out. When the man clearly knows what is happening in Oromia, why does he remain silent? What is try to be diplomatic? Yes, he's a politician, but he's representing people. What will people do if opposition politicians flee the country? If they, I would, I've been appreciating Skandar. I've been saying that Skandar would have lived in the US, enjoyed his life, but he returned to Ethiopia. He took up arms. You might not agree with his way of struggle, but he is here. What about that man, that minister, deputy minister of peace, who was arrested by Prime Minister of Ethiopia? He was accused of supporting Ola. Again, I forgot his name. I think I'm growing old. The man from Oromia, Hangasa, and this man were very critical of the government. So that man could have remained silent. He did not. He chose to speak. He chose to, yeah, Tadandia, thank you, the Horn Affairs. Tadandia chose to speak. He knew the consequences. He spoke. He said, Abiy is behind killings, massacres. Abiy destroying the country. The next day, he was arrested. But he was ready to pay the price. Skandar, ready to pay the price. Where is Jawar? Bakle Garba, Rira Gudina. Where are these people? They claim to be opposition politicians. They know what the government is doing, but they are not willing to lead from the front. This is the problem. How will there be change in Ethiopia? How will there be change? No, I mentioned, I guess, some photo in some recent videos, there is no change in terms of economy, in terms of economic measures taken by the Beritan government, no change. I thought that the government will shift its focus towards the economy, but nothing changed. The Horn Affair says Jawar seems to be waiting for something to happen. He is not selfless, which is a weakness of Jawar. I wouldn't say he's not selfless, but he's waiting. I agree partially. He's waiting for something to happen, and then he wants to lead the struggle or lead the people. That something won't happen without Jawar or others leading. By the way, last year, a friend contacted me. He said, Sajid, the Jawar is not happy with your reports. He was very close to Jawar. Back then, Jawar was in Ethiopia, and he said that Sajid, why do you criticize him a lot? We were discussing about my views in news, and he said that Sajid was unfairly critical of me. I remember that 2 years ago I said that Jawar was one of those politicians in Ethiopia who had the potential to be an Ethiopian politician. He restricted himself to Oromia and then gradually he went quiet. He had immense popularity, but the man lost his popularity. His credibility is in danger as well, keeping in view that he is almost silent. Welcome, Muni Muni. Muni Muni joined a member. Special welcome to the members. Yemasgan, Muni Muni, Alim Gizao. Alim is a member to welcome Alim. And Easy King. 4 members here. Liberty Media says Jawar is scared. Well, it's natural. Yeah, Jawar should be scared. What the government is doing to politicians, he should be scared, but it's for him to choose. What should he do? Should he remain part of the politics or say goodbye to politics? And then Neo says, Saji, do you think Jawar believes Omos are in power and say nothing in fear of Tigray or Amhara takes over? You could be correct that maybe he believes that at least partially some Oromos are in power. That maybe an Oromo Abi is better than a Tigrayan or Amhara prime minister. Maybe he believes that. So 34 minutes have passed. I think we should end this live chat session. It was good to be with you. Thank you for becoming part of this wonderful live chat session. Today we talked about the change in US policy towards Eritrea. US seems to be softening its position on Eritrea. Policy of isolation is being replaced by a policy of engagement. Secondly, Jawar spoke today saying that Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia should publish a preliminary report about its findings into Bahadur Gassel murder. Yes, Sarah will be back. Kira, Sarah busy with her exams. Whenever her exams are announced, I don't disturb her. She's busy, very busy. But I think she'll be free by the end of this month. And for the next 3 months, she'll be free to make videos. Thank you for joining this live chat session, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed, stay happy. PO Boy Tucker, yes, you'll have to rewatch. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.